Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. If you guys are new here, hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and leave a like. It all helps out a ton. Also guys, I just started a new gaming YouTube channel where I'm going to be doing anything from Halo to Battle Royales to anything really, so definitely go give that a subscription and link to that down below. Alright guys, in today's video, I'm going to teach you step by step on how to make molds for Halo Mega Construx helmets. And this is really useful for a lot of different things, whether it's extra parts and pieces, having your own extra helmets for mocks and dioramas, putting them on figures like my Spartan Slayer Arbiter right here. They're really useful and they're really easy to make, so let's just get right into that. Alright guys, now that we have picked out what we want to mold, and we're going to be molding these helmet pieces for today's example, you're just going to need some kind of material that you can put it on. I'm just going to be using this cardboard because I have it right here and it is available. So you're going to be gluing down these head pieces or these helmet pieces in the spot with a little bit of hot glue. And then when you have all of them lined up in rows, you'll make a border around them with cardboard, and then you will be pouring in your Mould Molding Liquitex rubber. So I'm gonna get on to all of that and mix up this rubber, and it's a 1 part by 1 part, so you use 2 cups, and then we will be back. So once you have the box completely assembled and you have these little fuzzies, you can take a toothpick or something and kind of get these strings out from the hot glue, and that will help just to make the mold not have any crease lines on the actual helmets themselves. Then also make sure you hot glue a little extra on the outside structural lines. That will help it a ton to stay firm and make sure the silicone does not slip off. Now I'm going to be busting this open, and I'm going to be pouring it into 2 cups, 1 part, and then the other part. So part A and part B. We're not going to need much of this stuff at all, actually. Probably only, not much, but you want to make sure you also shake it just a little bit. Kind of get that stuff all moving back around since it hasn't been opened in quite some time. At least mine hasn't. We're not going to need much. Probably just, we'll go with that. You can always pour more if you mess up on the ratios. I just eyeball mine. You can use a scale to make sure you pour yours out as properly or as accurate as you want. I normally just eyeball mine. A little bit too much, and we'll just pour some back in. So now I just gotta pour part B into part A, or vice versa, whatever you want. And you gotta stir it until it's one consistent color. And then you can pour it in. And I think I made way too much. Just give it a stir. So now when you are pouring this, all you want to do is pour very slowly, take your time. So you see these little air bubbles, they won't get attached to your helmets, and you won't have these big air bubbles on your helmets. So just pour from a high distance and pour slow. And then when you're all done with pouring, all you have to do is slowly tap this to release those air bubbles that are trapped down in there. And you can tap on the sides as well, and that will also release a lot of these air bubbles. So I'm gonna give this a ton of taps, a ton of shakes, and then I will be back. Alright guys, so we have our two-part mold, our two-part liquid plastic here, and all we need to do is pour part B or part A into part A or part B, mix it up, and then pour it into these holes that we just now made for the helmets. Let it sit for about 15 to 20 minutes, and that's about it. Now, when you guys are using these kind of materials, you need to be careful. Definitely use gloves if you're not used to it. Wash your hands right away after. These are harmful chemicals, and they can definitely hurt you. So make sure you're taking care of yourself and your body. The reason I'm not wearing gloves is because I'm very skilled with using this kind of stuff, and using such a small amount, I'm not gonna get any on my skin. So pour this in here, the last couple drops. So you only have about 5 minutes to work with this material until it really starts to kind of thicken up and it's harder to move. And then the other 10 minutes are just for curing. So you want to give it a nice rigorous stir and make sure it's all mixed in together. And for this low amount, that should be good. And then just start pouring. Now, if you make too much, you can have extra molds that you have molded and you can use those instead of wasting your material, but I don't want to grab any of my extra molds, and I'm not going to be wasting that much. For everything you would need to be making molds, it would probably cost you anywhere from $75 on Amazon to around $100, just depending on what the prices of these materials are at the time. Sometimes they fluctuate from being more expensive and least expensive. But you can find these on Amazon and eBay at Oomoo. That is what they call OOMOO. You can type in Oomoo 300, and you can also look up other videos on YouTube to have better ideas on how to mold. Now I'm gonna let this sit for around 15 minutes to 20 minutes, and then I will be right back and we'll take out the molds. All right guys, so now that the plastic is cured, I'm going to be removing all the helmets from the mold, and it's really easy. All you have to do is kind of just take them out, and they turn out very, very realistic and close to the first ones. This one has a little air bubble underneath, and that's kind of unavoidable sometimes. But other than that, these helmets are perfect for mocks, dioramas, small little things. Spartan Slayer Elites. This is a Spartan Slayer Arbiter. And then I also use these helmets sometimes for like shields on this Banished Spartan Slayer, and also at a Brute helmets here that I also molded, and I put that on the front. A lot of versatility you can use with these helmets, and they're extremely cheap to make. I mean, out of that whole bottle, I could probably make thousands upon thousands of these little helmets. The only problem is you can't actually stick them on actual figures unless you have a certain ball joint size, and I haven't figured out that ball joint size yet, and I'm not going to be doing a ton of research into that, but it would be interesting. If anybody knows that ball joint size or the piece that works with, let me know. So these are pretty easy to remove. All you have to do is move the silicone over, and you can pretty much just pull these out, and they come out really nice. Now this one didn't get enough in there, but you have this nice top of the helmet, and actually this is kind of cool. I might be able to use that for something. So sometimes mistakes still turn into advantages. So you have all your helmets, and it's really easy to clean them. Just kind of clean them like that. You can take a blade and scrape them on the bottom. But that's pretty much it, guys. That's really about as easy as it gets to mold your own custom helmets. And honestly, they're always useful for projects, like always. All right, guys, that's about as easy as it gets. Really simple to do this basic kind of molding. Now, if you want to make your own articulated Halo Mega Construx figures, it's not gonna happen. I've already thought about it. I've already tried to do it. I already tried to figure it out. It's way too hard with this kind of stuff. You would need like a factory machine. Not gonna work. But if you want to do little helmet molds, little figure molds, I even have figures that are just kind of dead laying on the ground for mocks and dioramas. That helps a ton too, and you can do all that with that Oomoo molding plastic and silicone, and it's relatively affordable for someone that wants to get into it. So I hope this video helped you guys all out when it comes to little parts and pieces, and I hope it was just interesting as well. If you guys are new here, definitely hit that like and subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. Thank you so much for being a part of the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for being a subscriber. I really appreciate it. Anyway guys, have a great rest of your day, evening, or night, and I'll see you guys all later.